you're never going to find a clip of me saying that it's okay to target civilians, which can't always be said for other people, not least of all Taylor Lorenz's source. It didn't even take that long to find these. Zionist combatants everywhere, actively spreading propaganda, blah, blah, blah. This is about children, actually, being killed in bus bombings. If the colonizer puts children into occupied territory, they're responsible for their fate. 90% of Israelis support the massacre of Palestinian civilians. This is a complicit population, valid target. Representative with justice, glorious. You live on a colonial frontier, you get what you seek. So that's what supporting targeting civilians actually looks like. Okay, she's actually... Never mind, she's not dumb, she's evil. This is so mental. What the... The new line of attack against Bob Villain is, sure, thousands of concert goers at Glastonbury chanted death to the IDF, but a completely separate concert in a completely different context. He said something else? Okay, LOL. Oh god. Yeah, her brain is mince. Oh my god. Bob, was your brain literally fucking leaking out of like a crack in your skull as you were typing this? You were the one who went on Pierce and said, yeah, he did not mean the soldiers. He meant the institution. He meant the soldiers. He meant the soldiers. You've been proven wrong. So this is, they're talking about Mr. Death to the IDF guy again. That's discourse still. Okay.
When people say the NHS will die, literally they will say the NHS will die without reform, are they saying that they're going to be the mass murder of doctors and patients?
So to be clear, when you watch that rapper at Glastonbury chanting and leading a chant with thousands joining in of death to the IDF, you instinctively believe...
He said it himself. He said...
Oh, no, he said it since. So you accept, then, that the rapper was talking about soldiers?
No. People call for the death of the Russian army all the time.
Do you believe him 100%?
Yes.
That when he said death to the IDF, he didn't mean individuals... Do you believe that?
Well, he's actually, unlike... I mean, this is the irony. Do you know what the irony is?
I don't get it, because, like, if you're Aaron Jones, what's wrong with wanting the IDF soldiers to die? Like, they're literally, according to you, the belligerent aggressors genocide state. Like, what the f***? I don't know why they try to have it, like, both ways. It's weird.
Well, just answer...
Like, it's literally like, no, they didn't say that, but if they did, it's based.
My question first.
Yes, I do.
Because new footage has emerged.
Uh-oh.
And death to every single IDF soldier out there as an agent of terror.
I've known you a long time. I have a lot of respect for you.
Oh no, Pierce was armed. Pierce was armed and dangerous. He hasn't had a moment like this since he asked a liberal who the biggest deporter president was. It's, oh god. He's waited so many years of, do you know which US president has deported more people? It's Obama! Whoa! Destroyed. And now he's back. He's got a new one. Laying his little trap card. It's so shoehorned as well, the way you can see. It's like, come in. Come stand on that square over there with the X on it. A little bit left. Yeah, on there, right on the X. Okay. Don't mind this huge red button on the wall.
You just have to admit, when you hear that, you were wrong to defend him in the way you defended him. He didn't mean IDF.
The people I was defending...
He didn't mean IDF the entity, did it? But you accept now that you were wrong. He didn't mean that.
I didn't hear. I've only heard for the first time.
You've heard that. So what? Now you've heard that. Do you still say he only meant the entity?
Well, no, obviously now he's made clear what he meant.
So you accept you were wrong?
Well, yeah, because obviously...
I know. I'm not saying you should have known.
No.
I'm just saying that I found the defence very disingenuous by everybody.
Just be like, yeah, well, up. Bit of up. Rip. Bit too good faith to the death of the IDF. Whoop. Do you feel bad, mate? Feel a bit embarrassed?
And I felt what he'd done, and this has now been proven, I think.
Bit of a twat.
He'd gone on social media, he'd seen people coming up with this ludicrous
defense,
but he only meant the entity, and then and knowing what he'd said on stage, he issues a statement saying the complete opposite that he's read from people like you defending it. And now he's made all of you look like complete prunes.
Oh, Pierce. Who's that? Andrew Neil. Andrew Neil's loving it, okay? Listen. The hemorrhoid sneer. He's gone full red, okay? He's like right on the primary color. Speaking of prunes. He won't go that red for years. That's red with joy. It's a joyous red, that one. I presented Taylor Lorenz with the same question. And obviously she didn't answer. Oh my God. Taylor Lorenz popping off at me. quite a few times actually. And you know that when I watch Taylor Lorenz talking to other people and arguing, I'm like, okay, it seems kind of silly, whatever, like dumb. She does this thing where like every time there's a spat, she has to like, if she can shoehorn misogyny or racism or whatever other social issue into whatever spat she's part of, like, oh, she will do it. She will do it so hard. She loves it. But I asked her about this clip, Death to the IDF, because she was also saying, no, they're just talking about the institution, bro. Yeah. So I asked her, and she said, these men are like, guys, don't say death to the Nazi army. That's very offensive. The men running concentration camps are just doing their jobs. You can disagree, but wishing violence on Hitler should be condemned. It's like, I'm just asking you, what's going on in this brain? Just answer the question, mate. What? Answer the question. You got caught out. According to you guys, the soldier/military leaders currently enacting a genocide aren't culpable, and the political leaders condoning a genocide aren't culpable. So who exactly should be held accountable? What the f does she think? I'm just asking you if you think it's different that he actually was saying kill every soldier, because then we can get into the next stage of the discussion, which would be about whether or not you think it would be a reasonable outcome if every IDF soldier just got Thanos snapped tomorrow, or if that might actually be a bit problematic, you know, because the IDF got defeated. One part of the IDF got defeated once in the last few decades, and that was when the Southern Command, when the Gaza Division got defeated for about 10 hours. And in the wake of that defeat, Hamas murdered like 1,200 people. And now she's just mauled it. And then obviously, look what she's dug up. She's done some digging. Because this is a journalist, right? Washington Post journalist getting informed that I think it's not a crime to snipe toddlers because they could be militants, which I don't really know. Obviously, nothing in this clip is me saying these toddlers might be militants. I'm maybe saying that what this person is describing as a toddler, like, might be older, because this was the same doctor who thought that high velocity munition definitely meant sniper. So I'm like, I don't know how trustworthy this guy's being with his words. In any case, what's the even the straw man here is so retarded. It's like, what do they think? Are they trying to say that I believe in like what? They're like shapeshifters? Like this toddler actually like just morphs into a 15-year-old militant and then goes back again? Like, so rather than thinking, wait, is this actually what was said in this clip? Does this clip contain this, that toddler might have like taken off his mask like in Game of Thrones, and it's actually a 17-year-old with an AK? Jesus Christ. Nah, she loves it. Again, you're never going to find a clip of me saying that like it's okay to murder civilians, to target civilians. You're never going to find a clip of me saying that. That's why you have to go to this retarded conjecture of finding a clip of me basically asking, I think the clip was me asking a caller about a story about doctor testimony about people being shot. And I'm asking like for specific details to find out what they're trying to claim is happening and to what degree. You're never going to find a clip of me saying that it's okay to target civilians, which can't always be said for other people, not least of all Taylor Lorenz's source. It didn't even take that long to find these. Zionists are combatants everywhere, actively spreading propaganda, blah, blah, blah. This is about children actually being killed in bus bombings. If the colonizer puts children into occupied territory, they're responsible for their fate. 90% of Israelis support the massacre of Palestinian civilians. This is a complicit population, valid target. October with justice, glorious. You live in a colonial frontier, you get what you seek. So that's what supporting targeting civilians actually looks like, not some vague conjecture from a 1-minute clip in the middle of a conversation with someone who can't explain himself for. But I don't know. Somehow I think she's not going to address that one, though. She's not going to address that. Man, Taylor Lorenz. She is like, you don't always notice. Because I tend to just, Taylor Lorenz is just like, oh, whatever, dumb tweet, move on. But you really see it when they're arguing with you, because like obviously you know you better than anyone else does. So when they start making assertions about you or engaging with you in a way that is just like, wait, why would you even ask me this? She's a very, very stupid person. Oh my God. She is like properly dense, like dim-witted, ignorant, or she's just being manipulative. I don't know. She retweeted this. This is just a reply to my first thing. And it's someone sending me footage, a story about the sexual abuse at State Man. Say, do you think this is defensible? Like, what the f did I say to imply that this is defensible? What did she think? And she's like, she would have scrolled through my replies, gone past a bunch of other mad, including Bana Banada, and then she stumbles across this one. Someone saying, LonerBox, do you think it's okay to rape prisoners? I'm like, and then she's like, oh, haha, like to see you answer this one. No, you fucking loser. I don't think it's defensible to rape prisoners. Wow. Really, sorry, had me on the ropes there. Fuck. That was a difficult one. Had to think quite hard about that one. Let me see. Whoa, shit. What was she expecting? Was she expecting the Piers Morgan moment? Do I have to go into my mind palace? Oh, fuck. Actual footage of me trying to figure out whether or not it's defensible to rape prisoners. Me when someone comes at me with a hard-hitting loner. You pro-rape? Get out. Get the fuck out. I require solitude in my mind palace. I must ponder this question in solitude. Oh, God. 9/11 was an attack on a legitimate military target. Okay, bro. So yeah, I don't know. That's just a bit of drama for the day. My replies are absolutely flooding right now with the most brain-dead, scum of the earth cunt messaging, but yeah, well. Rip. What's this? Ethan K. Line. Ethan KKK Klein. According to Taylor, complimenting my wife is somehow misogynistic. This man loves his wife, therefore he hates women. This is what a snart brain looks like, folks. It's tragic, is obsessing over a specific person, attributing malice or ulterior motives to everything they do, no matter how innocuous it is. In this case, complimenting my wife. We rarely get such a prime example of snark brain. The desperate, obsessive, and massive reach of the insult really exemplifies the sickness. He cannot quit the misogyny. What, because he said that she still has her physique after 3 kids? My wife. Okay. Whoa. Hila called Taylor a bitch. Oh no, that's a bad word. I guess if you're a woman, it's less bad saying it to each other. Fucking, I wouldn't say that. I would never say that. She is retarded though. She's like cataclysmically stupid. Why did you think it was a good idea? This was a good response to what I was saying about the death of the IDF chan and you lying about it on Piers Morgan's show. That's all I said. Very dim. Very dumb. Very gupped. Does that mean I need to learn more about Taylor Lorenz now? She's a fucking Washington Post journalist, wasn't she? I thought she would be a little bit sharper. Like, I've had conversations with bad faith people, right? And normally there is like a sign of intelligence there, just being applied in the worst possible ways. But man, she's actually fucking like brain hemorrhoids, brain cancer, cancer of the brain, head cancer. She's 100% bad faith. Forget about her. Not worth it. Listen, okay? Occasionally you roll around in the mud with stupid people, but she's sad Hassan won't date her. See, I'm not going to say that because that might be misogynistic. I don't know. I've seen the definition of misogyny being broadened quite extensively after encountering Taylor Lorenz's tweets. I don't know. I don't really know. Like, she is a master actually at like turning something into a social issue, you know, like fucking origami. She can take it. It's like it's like alchemy, you know, they're turning things into gold. It's like that, but with turning things into racism or misogyny or ableism or whatever else. Oh, I'm definitely getting the ableism because I called her a retard, but fuck it, man. Whatever. But that comment might be misogynistic, so I will not say that. No. I'm not going to say that she's trying to bone Hassan or whatever, silly. I have no evidence to such claims. And even if I did, I wouldn't use that against her because, you know, some people like shagging. What's wrong with that? Do you want the evidence? No, I don't. Leave me alone. Luffy the Houthi taking pictures of people at the Galaxy Leader, including Hassan and Noah. Bro, that's not your boat. The fuck? It's not your boat. Nux Taku. Poor ContraPoints. Not trying to be an annoying resistance lib, not trying to vote shame anyone, but whoa. Free Sundowner. What happened to Sundowner? Did he activate a social justice trap card by saying the N-word? I don't know. Rip.
New York City.
This is a 1-hour content cop about Taylor Lorenz. An hour. The big beautiful bill passed. Yeah, so 4 years old. Jesus Christ. What's it about? This is where you have a bunch of captions that don't actually tell you anything about the thing you're trying to learn about. Okay, apparently it's good. Fuck knows. Fuck knows. What do I need to learn for today's debate? Iran. Nuclear. The damage. Stream got clapped for watching a 60 minutes about aliens. Sounds like a skill issue. Sounds like a self-shagging. Pierce Morgan loves this in his title. Owen Jones gets it wrong. The real terrorist is you. Fuck's sake. God damn it. Shit. What the fuck? Has she responded? I am curious what she thinks about using a fucking actual civilian, pro-civilian death wanker as a source. I feel like, well, she's not a journalist anymore, so she can just do whatever the fuck she wants, right? She's not Washington Post anymore. She's not a professional, is what I'm saying. She's still been, oh god, she's a very... Is this what, like, professionals do on Twitter? They just yap all the fucking time. Jesus Christ. Okay, she's actually... Never mind, she's not dumb, she's evil. This is so fucking mental. What the fuck? The new line of attack against Bob Villain is, sure, thousands of concert goers at Glastonbury chanted death to the IDF, but a completely separate concert in a completely different context. He said something else? Okay, LOL. Oh god. Yeah, her brain is mince. Oh my god. Bob, was your brain literally fucking leaking out of like a crack in your skull as you were typing this? You were the one who went on Pierce and said, yeah, he did not mean the soldiers. He meant the institution. He meant the soldiers. He meant the soldiers. You've been proven wrong. How? This isn't even good gaslighting. This is like shit. This is fucking horrible. Oh my god. Mental. Actually brain damaged. Fuck. She has a history of lying all the time. Yeah? Hello.
Hey, LonerBox, remember me?
No.
All right, never mind then. All right. So, what do you think about the Israelis that came out?
I remember who this is.
And said that they were ordered to shoot at civilians by the aid place.
What, by Yehuda Vash? Is that right? The guy, the settler dude.
No, I'm not talking about you. I don't know basically who ordered them, but no, I'm talking about like in Gaza. I'm talking about in Gaza, by the aid place. Okay, well, okay, fine. Like, the military commander told them that to shoot. Like, so the soldiers are saying that they were given orders to shoot at civilians. So, what's your take on that, my guy?
I think that's pretty bad. If the article is, I haven't read this particular one, but if it's as you're describing it, then that sounds like him. He did the same thing in Netzarim, where he was telling people to use live rounds to police the corridor, even in cases where warning shots could have sufficed.
So that is kind of condemnable of the IDF, right? So you condemn the IDF for that reason.
The big problem with the IDF there is that they still haven't fired this guy. If it is still him, the fact that he's still, yeah, it is him. It's the same guy from Netzarim.
Yeah, so my point is this, though. So, you still haven't condemned IDF, even though they've been known to, sniper at kids, like you said.
I mean, I can condemn these actions. Like, why do you think I don't condemn this? What?
No, because listen, because you were giving out excuses like last time, where
what excuse have I made for this particular guy, for this instance? This guy's a big deal. He's like a division commander.
You're treating it like it's an individual incident, but this shows
it's not an individual incident. It's a division commander. He's in charge of like 10,000 people or something. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So this shows that the IDF is, if you want to use genocidal, is the bad guy in this situation. That the IDF is habitually committing war crimes. It's not just one bad apple or two bad apples or three bad apples. It's not just like last time you were talking about because what do you call it? The children, people are like fast moving subjects. That's why that sniper rifles missed those Hamas targets, and then hits a bullseye in the children's head.
Did you just put like every fucking hit piece against me into a random word generator and scramble it around? What sentence was that? Jesus Christ! One thing at a time. So you're telling me that because this division commander has ordered his soldiers to use live fire on civilians at the aid stations, that is what makes the IDF, quote, the bad guy. That's like what makes Israel the bad guy. Can you tell me a single military group in this entire region that hasn't had leaders who have ordered the killing of civilians?
Listen, my guy, it's not about what you call when you get in charge for war crime, or when you're in court, you don't say, okay, look at this guy. I'm not as bad as that guy. Can you tell me another?
But you said that. But you said it's the killing of civilians that makes them the bad guy, which implies that other armed forces in the region who are involved in this conflict are not the bad guy. Do you think Hezbollah are the bad guy because they've targeted civilians?
I haven't seen in this kind of situation. I haven't seen
you haven't seen Hezbollah targeting civilians.
Not in this kind of situation, no.
What, at aid stations? I suppose that's true because Hezbollah never gave aid, did they? They didn't give aid when they were besieging Syrian towns. They didn't. They actually blockaded the entire. They blockaded the entire town and didn't let any aid in. That's what Hezbollah did. They said surrender or starve.
No, they didn't do that. They never
so
blockaded
stupid,
people and let people starve. They never did
Oh,
that.
no.
Stop lying. Listen. There was always aid coming into Syria, and then not only that, people. My God, Syrian refugees are coming to Lebanon. It's not like what Hezbollah was hunting them, the Syrian refugees down in Lebanon, and killing those people.
Was there really? So there was aid getting into Syria.
Yes.
Was there aid getting into every besieged area that was surrounded by the army and by Hezbollah?
Listen, was it true that Syrian refugees came to Lebanon? Yes or no?
Yeah, they did, but that's not mutually exclusive with Hezbollah blocking aid from besieged territories.
I never seen that before.
That's why I'm asking you. That's why I'm asking you. Like, you said that this is what makes the Israel the bad guys, implying that there are good guys in this conflict. I'm just curious if killing civilians and even having people ordering the killing of civilians makes you the bad guy. Who's the good guy by comparison? Who's the good guy in this conflict? Which armed group is that? Which armed group does do this? I'm not obfuscating. I'm just following your logic to its conclusion, and you haven't thought about this for more than 3 seconds, so you're fucked, basically. You spent so long preparing to, by listening to fucking hit pieces against me that you didn't think for 1 second. Hello, you hear me? Hello? Why are you whispering? Fuck. Is he having a wank? Oh no.
Yeah, you were saying, killer LonerBox, my internet just fell apart.
Do you hear? I'm sorry. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm doing is not obfuscating. What I'm doing is I'm listening to you, and you said because this division commander is overseeing the targeting of civilians and even ordering it with live fire, that means that Israel are the bad guys. And that by implication, I just think that means that, okay, clearly you think either someone is the good guy or just that you think targeting of civilians makes you the bad guy. So then I would think, well, would you apply the same standard of targeting civilians to Hamas or Hezbollah or the Houthis or the Axis? Well, probably not. It's not my fault, okay, that you had all the time in the world to prepare for this conversation, and your first argument fell on its face because I tried to apply it consistently across the region.
I just came in here because I saw you, and then I was looking. I was on X, but I was like, nobody talked on X. So I just came over here to talk to you. That's about it, and I just relaxed. I wasn't preparing for this. And I just wanted to ask you that question.
Well, maybe you should have prepared then, because you should think about that. Because if you're saying, well, they target civilians, therefore they're the bad guy. Well, it's like, okay, but who's the good guy then? Because you can't find a good guy in the region that doesn't target civilians as military forces.
Listen, if I'm pointing out something, okay, if I'm pointing out somebody did wrong, don't obfuscate and say, oh, listen, what about the Houthis, man? What about the Hezbollah, man? What about the Iranians?
Trying to apply a consistent standard is not whatabouting. I've given my condemnation of the IDF. I'm just wondering why you can't do it for the same standard to other forces in the region. And I know why. It's because you support them, right? You support Hezbollah. You support the Houthis. You support Hamas. Do you or not?
Listen, we can have a different conversation about Hezbollah, and you can condemn them, and you can bring up your evidence of their crimes. And then I'll check it out, yeah. But when I'm talking about the IDF, don't obfuscate and go over there, man. That's how we're having a good
it's not obfuscating. It's not obfuscating to try and apply your standards evenly. That's just not what that is. All I don't know why you think that's obfuscating.
There's many nuances, right, between armed forces and fighting forces and resistance forces, and then you have to break it down, right? So, but this is not a comparison
Does
battle.
being a resistance force mean that you have more leeway to target civilians?
No, I never said that. When did I ever said that?
That's
no,
why I'm
nothing
asking
ever
you.
said
Okay,
that.
so yeah, nothing gives you. Yeah, so
listen.
did Hamas target civilians on October 7th or no?
Oh my, again, obfuscating, man. Yeah,
It's a simple question.
Yes, probably so.
Probably.
So,
No,
yes.
they 100%. I don't know why you said probably.
Okay, well, okay, they did so. Yes, they did so.
Okay, but
yeah.
Does that make them the bad guys in their world?
No, but this is not what do you call it? They were not ordered, basically to shoot every fucking civilian they see. Like this, not.
Are they just
are
they just a really poorly disciplined army then? Why is it in every location they did just fucking shoot anyone they could?
Loner, when it came out that I think it was like 70-something% was military that got killed.
No, that's not true. It was less than half,
that is
actually.
true.
No. By whose numbers? Where'd you get that from?
Kyle Kulinski, and I think he got it from, I forgot where he got it from, but yeah, it's Kyle Kulinski.
Well, okay, so Kyle Kulinski's not a source, he's a pundit. Kyle Kulinski has also said that there's no Hamas militants in the West Bank, so I don't know why you would ever take him as a valuable source on this question.
Now, listen, he had a good, I forgot what the source needed, but yeah, it was a good source, though. So.
Okay. Do you think I'm supposed to take that seriously?
Well, do you think I'm supposed to take you seriously, man? Hanging out with Elon Levy, and then with Destiny that gave what do you call
and
tips
also with Mustafa Barghouti, and also with people in the West Bank who are pro-Hamas, and also with village elder in Hebron. What? And
my guy, you can hang out with
that's
Destiny.
called a journalistic tour.
LonerBox, he gave tips on how to make.
I'm sorry, wait, hang on. I'm just. Where the fuck? Oh, sorry. I thought Destiny was like standing behind me, and I have to be accountable for something that he said in an event where I wasn't even there. What?
Well, I mean, maybe you were behind the cameras, man, while he was giving those speeches.
I wasn't. I was not at that event. I left that event early because I was with other people. But in any case, those aren't my words, so.
Exactly. But even he, hold up, even your boy Destiny, yeah, even he knew that
Can you
what
just
they were
confirm
doing
you've
was bad.
already?
He said, don't film it, my guy. Don't film it, my guy. That's what he said. Even he, what do you call it? Going to people's houses, wearing their fucking lingerie, which is I don't know what the fuck their problem is actually. Going to women's what do you call it? To a woman's lingerie and then wearing their fucking lingerie. Well, don't you find that sick, LonerBox? That why would they do that actually? Because you met some IDF people over there. Did you ask them why they like wearing women's underwear? Lingerie and stuff like that.
I don't know what your question is.
Well,
is it bad to wear women's lingerie?
Well, I'm asking you, since you went to Israel,
as a military occupation, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty disgusting. Yeah, what? What?
Okay, thank you.
I know, eh?
And I'm pretty
sure. Do you see how when you ask me a question about atrocities, I can just say yes or no? You're the one who has to squirm like a little fucking fanny who's terrified of his own fucking shadow. By the way, you're completely wrong, by the way. It was like 800 of the people killed on October 7th were civilians, and about 300 odd were soldiers. So you're just completely wrong.
Where do you get that from? An Israeli source? Yeah, LonerBox.
No, this is basically every source says the same thing on this. I don't know why you think otherwise.
I don't know. I have to check it out, back up. From one of the ones I checked, it was 70-something% militaries. And it shows actually because they captured a lot of military personnel,
We're not talking about who they captured. This is from Reuters, by the way.
Reuters. It's captured, man. It's captured by the Yehudis, man.
Wait, so what media is not captured by the Yehudis?
There's quite a few. I have to look them up, but we have to see them.
Okay.
And as a Lebanese,
what the fuck does that mean?
As a Lebanese man, how do you feel that Beirut has been, even after the ceasefire, Hezbollah has held on the ceasefire. They haven't attacked at all, but it seems like even that Israel has been breaking them habitually, and they haven't even fully done what the ceasefire asked them to do, which is go back to Litani River. Go back down south where they came from. So what's your point? To the Sheba Valley, to the Sheba farm, sorry. So what's your view on that one? As a Lebanese guy with families there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Israel should be getting off those 5 hilltops just at the border that they're currently on, and I don't think they should be hitting Beirut. It's not a violation of the ceasefire them to hit south of Litani, though. I don't know if you read the ceasefire. You probably didn't.
Well, if they said if there was some military actions going there, but there was no. Who can prove that? Actually, there's nobody can prove that. Actually, didn't Hezbollah actually leave the south? So.
Yeah, that's why the strikes in the south are to do with Hezbollah moving things down south. Yes.
But how can you trust it though? Because even
can you trust the Lebanese government? Because the Lebanese government is doing operations in the south as well. Are they just attacking random Shiites and pretending that they're Hezbollah, or are they in and out too? Are they captured by the? You probably do think he is captured by the Yehudi, right? Is he?
No, Lebanese government's not doing anything. I mean, they're just basically doing what the ceasefire asked them to do. They're not attacking anybody.
Wait, who? So, Hezbollah?
No, I'm talking to the Lebanese government. I'm not talking.
Well, the Lebanese government is also doing operations south of the Litani. Who are they operating against?
They're not on war with the Hezbollah. What are you talking about, LonerBox? They're not doing operations.
I didn't say they're at war with Hezbollah. They're doing. What are they doing there?
What are they doing? The ceasefire holds. They're making sure that the ceasefire holds by being a buffer zone over there and making sure that Hezbollah doesn't come in.
So they're not. Okay, what do they? So they make sure Hezbollah doesn't come in.
Yeah, by putting their forces in there. So basically, they're just making sure that
is that all they do?
Ceasefire holds.
So they're just standing there and looking around and being like, "Don't you come in here?"
Like the UN peacekeepers. Yeah.
Well, it's not like the UN peacekeepers because the UN peacekeepers were there and so were Hezbollah. So that's not a good comparison. That's okay. Details. Do you think
they're not doing operations either? Operation means they're fighting Hezbollah. That's what it means. Operations.
Well, you don't have to fight them to do an operation. You can catch them and tell them to leave, which it seems to be what the Lebanese army has been doing. That's why they're getting praise from Israel and from the Americans. That's why they said, they think the army's doing a good job.
They're still getting bombed, though. But you're doing a good job.
As per the ceasefire, the ceasefire said, they're not bombing the government; they're bombing Hezbollah.
They're bombing Beirut, my guy. That's where
who's in Beirut? Where? Which part of Beirut?
I don't know. It could be Dahia.
It could be. Why did you think it could be Dahia? Why could be? Why was that your first answer? Because that's where Hezbollah is. Okay, I see. Because that's the Hezbollah-controlled area. Yeah. By the way, I don't support the strikes in Beirut because in the ceasefire, it's strictly about the Litani. It's not about Beirut. So that actually is a violation if you were sharp enough to catch that one. But that would also mean admitting that by implication, some of these strikes are not violations, or they're violations in the sense that they're violating in response to a violation.
Listen, Hezbollah hasn't done anything, hasn't fired a single rocket, hasn't done anything like that. So, what do you want them to do? I mean, and then these guys just keep flagrantly violating the ceasefire, keep shooting at people, not even leaving Lebanon, like the places they have invaded. So, what the fuck do you want from me? Just these guys, if anybody can look at this, anybody fairly can say that Israelis are fucked up. And what they're doing is fucked up.
Sorry, first of all, Hezbollah have fired since the ceasefire. They have fired from the south. Second of all, who do you think, you're going to dismiss the source, but I mean, it's both on CNN and on NYT and on DW. So, and on Reuters.
My God, even when Iran was firing at Israel and clapping their cheeks.
So what do you think Israel's hitting in the south?
Lebanon, Hezbollah wasn't firing with them, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's because this is earlier. Yeah, Hezbollah did not want to get involved in action with Iran for good reasons, but that's also because the Lebanese army and Israel are making sure that they're in no good position to fight at all.
But I can see that your Lebanese people are having fun, though. They're, But I can see that Lebanese people are having fun, though. I've seen very, videos of them, playing jazz while the rockets were hitting Israel.
That's a lot of the, unfortunately, especially in the Shia communities, that's kind of like their thing. They like it when Israel gets hit, but they don't like it when they get hit.
Drinking at the bar, my boy. I don't think Shias are out there drinking at the bar and having fun. I don't think that the Hezbollah terrorists.
It wasn't just drinking at bars. Some of these videos, you think every single one of these videos was from a bar? Some of these were from restaurants. You don't think Shias go to restaurants?
No, but the ones I see now is at a bar, though. But I'm pretty sure the Shias are celebrating. But I'm just saying that I've been seeing the Christians are celebrating as well, though.
Yeah, there are some Christians in the South, especially, who are pro-Hezbollah. Yeah.
So
Not
do you
all of them, though.
condemn your fellow Christians? Do you condemn your fellow Christians?
What? All of them? Do you
I mean,
do you think Christians in
do you tell them
Lebanon?
like
Do you
you have
think
to be a
Christians in
good
hey
Lebanese? You have to
hey
be,
hey
but
hey?
tell them that
Do
you
you
have to be a good Lebanese just like you.
do you think Christian Lebanese people in general are pro or anti-Hezbollah?
It's not about pro or anti-Hezbollah.
I mean, most of them oppose Hezbollah.
This is about Israel, my God. This is about Israel. I could care less about Hezbollah, my God. Look, this is about Israel. Like the whole people, like it's not. Listen, my guy. Like like just because we're anti-Israelis and like like the whole world right now is anti-Israel. It's not because we are pro Shia militia or we are pro Iranian mullahs
No, but you
or we
are
are pro
like,
this or we are pro that.
yeah, but
No,
you
I'm
are.
not. Like no, it's not. No, I'm not. I'm not. No, like listen, I'm not. I respect for their resistance, but that doesn't mean I'm pro Iranian mullahs or I'm pro Hezbollah or anything like that. No. That's my point of view.
You just like the only thing about them that really matters in terms of like international politics, right? The attacks on Israel. You just like that part,
no, like
the part that they're known for.
No, like my point of view is I hate seeing the dead children. I hate seeing like 2,000 children in military prison getting sexually assaulted. I hate seeing like how we're getting pushed into war because of Israel and their fucking PTSD. I hate seeing like all these what do you call it, anti-speech laws in the USA and other places like that. That is why I'm like I am anti-Israeli, and I'm that's the reason. That's why everybody's anti-Israeli, and that's why we're calling out Israel. Not because we're Shia.
Why does bombing Israeli cities help with any of that?
It has nothing to do. Was I talking about bombing Israeli cities? I'm talking about.
You were talking about people celebrating the strikes. So why are those strikes which almost entirely hit civilians? I don't think like one soldier got hit like in one of those strikes from Iran. So
no, they hit the Mossad headquarters, something like that. Yeah, but anyway.
Well, the Kiryat might have got hit. I don't even know if that's completely confirmed. But as far as personnel. Well, yeah, they mostly killed civilians. Yeah, like almost all of them, bar one, I think.
Yeah, but no, my point is like my point is is that because
so I'm just asking why dropping fucking bombs on Israeli civilians is supposed to help anything.
Listen, I brought up that thing because I was trying to point out to you that even your Lebanese brethren, your Christian Lebanese brethren.
Yeah, I know you want to. I know you're obsessed with the fucking genetic arguments or something because you think that it's in my DNA as a Lebanese person, or it should be to celebrate bombs dropping on Israeli civilians. But no, generally, when bombs are being dropped on civilians, I don't celebrate. I don't even jump and fucking cheer when Israel targets Hamas because I know that it's not just Hamas who get hurt. I know that civilians get hurt. I know it's mostly civilians who get hurt. I don't know, but so why would I fucking jump with glee over that shit?
I've seen you giggle before. I've seen you giggle before when you talk about Israeli and their prowessness. I've seen you giggle before.
Giggle at what? Like I'll giggle at people making bad arguments, or I'll giggle at like. It doesn't mean I'm celebrating.
I don't know, my guy.
No, yeah, listen, you've seen me like jumping and cheering at like strikes that kill civilians. I don't do that. You do that. I don't know why people do that. That's kind of fucked up. I don't like it when civilians die.
But you see the videos of me doing that as well. Like, yeah, Loner, I haven't done that either. I haven't done that.
Well, you're saying that but you're saying that I should feel some kind of affinity for Lebanese people when they do it. But no, I don't really think it's a good thing to celebrate people dropping bombs on civilians.
Got you.
Even if it's militarily justified, even if there's like a collateral argument, I don't even think you just celebrate that shit. Jesus Christ. It's like civilians are getting...
yeah, I got you. But the Israelis were celebrating. They were chanting death to Arabs. They were saying there are no more schools in Gaza because there are no more children.
Yeah, when have I defended those people? I don't like those people.
Well, listen, my point is this, all right. But you haven't condemned them either. But so my point is this as well. Like, so the Arabs and your fellow Lebanese Christians as well are returning just a favor, and I think you are a collaborator. And that is why you're not, you're just on the Israeli side.
I don't know why bombing civilians in Israel is supposed to help anyone in Lebanon. If it makes some people happy, that's good for them. I think that's kind of weird to celebrate when bombs are falling on civilians, but. Each to their own. I don't really follow this principle of like, oh, some people who share the same ethnicity as me and are from the same national group as me have done a thing on Twitter, therefore I should do it too. That's kind of retarded, isn't it?
I don't know what you're looking at, but it's a tribal war. Like, I mean, what do you want to look at? It's an ethno-religious war.
Yeah, and I think viewing it as a tribal war is sorry, like okay, well, see now, and now who's being careless about Lebanese people? Yeah, it's a tribal war. Yeah, you're saying to someone whose family had to fucking flee en masse, like all of them, one after the other. My fucking granddad had to gather every fucking bit of cash he could to get my relatives out of that country because that country was ripped to fucking shreds by an ethno-religious fucking sectarian war. Yeah, tribal wars are fucking retarded. They destroy countries. Thank you for telling a Lebanese person about tribal wars. I think tribal wars are a bad thing. I don't think they should happen.
Then you
very
should.
Insensitive. You're being very insensitive to the Lebanese, by the way. That's
Then you should all condemn the Jewish state that is racist and apartheidist.
I condemn actions of Israel that harm the region, but that doesn't mean I want the state to get like disappeared or to stop existing.
But like, so
because it seems to be my understanding. Seems to be my understanding.
You support apartheid.
Seems to be my understanding. What do you mean apartheid?
You support apartheid then. As currently as it is, Israel is an apartheid state, is a supremacist state, is an ethno-supremacist state, so that's what you support.
You think people in this region are fighting with Israel because they care about ethno-supremacy?
LonerBox, please. LonerBox, answer the question. Is Israel as it is today ethno-supremacist apartheid state?
Nope.
Yes or no?
No, it's not.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Because...
Yeah, why not?
Because they don't do like most of the things that the apartheid state of South Africa did within their own borders, because they have 20% of their population are Palestinians and they have citizenship and they can vote and they can get into court positions and they can get into they can get into the cabinet if they want.
No, hold up. You are wrong to begin with because you just putting Israel at as its border as it is. But no, it controls the West Bank. It has military occupation over there. It treats the people like dogs over there.
Wait, don't play loose. Wait, do you think if they pulled out the West Bank and Gaza?
That is true. Listen, it's not just Israel. It's not just international recognized border of Israel. You have to recognize the occupations as well.
Well, there is no internationally recognized border of Israel. It's an armistice line.
Yes, there is. The 1948 recognized border, or the 1967 one. Just like that's the recognized
48
border.
Or 67. Do you see how that it's an armistice line from 49? Actually, that's okay though. You don't understand your terms. You just use them because you think it gives you legitimacy. But that's okay.
Gave both the Palestinians land and stuff.
But as far as the border goes, you don't buy this argument though. If I want to describe the West Bank as apartheid-esque conditions, yeah, I would say that. Of course it is. But you don't believe that because if Israel pulled out of the West Bank and Gaza, would Israel stop being apartheid to you?
And then they fixed what you call their racist laws as well, like that. You can't marry this, and if you have sex with a Jewish woman, that means you are raping her, and you like Muslims cannot own this land and blah blah blah. If they fix that too, then yeah, that's true.
Is there any country in that region that wouldn't cross that threshold of being an apartheid state to you?
No other country in that region has 2,000 kids in military prison and sexually assaulted.
That's not to do.
Other country.
That's not to do with. Yeah, I know. Obviously, like Syria had more, right? Under Assad, Syria had more. But again, that's not. So having people in administrative detention is not. That's not what we're talking about with apartheid and ethnic supremacy. Do you think Lebanon, where you have to be a Maronite to be the president, you have to be a Sunni to be the prime minister, you have to be a Shia to be the speaker of the parliament, is that not? Why is that not apartheid to you? Why is that not ethnic supremacy?
Hold up, because they're sharing the power. That's what I mean.
Really? The Speaker of the House has the same. The Speaker of the House has the same powers as Prime Minister and President.
No, but they're trying to share.
Oh, so they're not sharing power, are they? The power is imbalanced in favor of some and against others.
Okay, listen. I'm not saying every state is perfect, but every state has its racism problem.
Why don't you call it again? Why don't you call that apartheid though? Why don't you call that ethnic supremacy?
Okay, because nobody's there's no military checkpointing Shias and Sunnis and Christians and telling them, listen, you go over here and then kidnapping Shia and Sunni children and then taking them to military prison.
But you said if the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza ended, then you would still call Israel apartheid because of the laws. So I'm asking you, Lebanon has a lot of those laws. Why are they not apartheid to you?
Lebanon doesn't have any laws that prohibiting a Sunni or Shia or Christian from owning this land or that land, and all sorts of bullshit. Well, they don't have that.
Really, you think Shiites have the same ability to buy land anywhere in Lebanon that Christians do?
Regarding the buying of the land,
I think Quite said. Well, I don't know what this guy is. Like, it's me and LonerBox as it is right now.
I know, but you don't know anything about buying land. Neither does LonerBox in Israel.
Okay, good for you, my guy. Good for you. Good for you.
Well, yeah.
I'm talking about. Listen, even what's this guy's name? The lady. Okay, I forgot that blonde lady with crooked teeth and her Arab husband from Palestine, her Arab Israeli husband. Like even he was not allowed to get basically on this move in with his girlfriend, who he can't marry legally, and move into the certain places because he's an Arab Israeli. Even though he fought with the IDF, and I think he got injured fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon.
He can absolutely. Wait, hold on. That's not true. He can absolutely marry her. He's Christian. He's Christian. He gets married through a priest. The problem is the religious beliefs of that priest. The priest will refuse their marriage because he's Christian and they don't allow Christians to marry into Jews. It's not necessarily.
No, but their marriage would not be recognized by the law.
No, so it would absolutely be. There's gay marriage recognized in Israel. They just have to get married outside. They have to get married outside, and then it gets recognized in Israel. After.
Yeah, did you not know? Hang on. Did you not know that they do this in Lebanon as well? It's in Israel and Lebanon. It's basically still just like the millet system, the Ottoman millet system. They both do this. That's why in Cyprus, Israelis go to get married if they're like in a combination, if it's gay or if it's like a religious convergence that's not allowed by the locals. But they'll go there, and like Lebanese people do it as well. There are Lebanese people who go to fucking Cyprus to get married and then come back to the country.
The religious shit is a little more complicated because
I'm pretty sure they would marry you off the LonerBox. I don't think they would recognize a Chinese as a as a female though.
See, why do you pretend? See, this is why I don't get it. Why do you pretend to care about like social equality when you're like anti-trans and shit? Like, what's wrong with you?
You're anti-trans, you're anti-gay, you're anti-minorities. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly, like LonerBox, you're anti-minorities, man. Anyway, listen.
No, you're anti-minorities. You told me to be quiet when I came to explain to something you don't understand. Neither does LonerBox know about it. Mainly because here's a fucking disclaimer. Neither of you own land in Israel.
Yeah, true. Yes, that's true.
My family owns land. The fucking problem with the land issue here in Israel is the state owns most of the land. It just leases it out to people, so they always own the land. There is Arabs that owned land prior to the state that still own that land, and if you own that land prior to the state, you can sell it to other people with no fucking restrictions. The problem is, since that is a limited resource, the price of land is consistently going up. Land in my town, in an Arab town in Israel, is more expensive than land in Dubai. That's how fucking limited it is. And the problem is there's social norms. Arabs are not going to sell land to Jews because there's barely any land for Arabs left anyway for them to own and build upon. They now have to move into Jewish areas because everyone builds a house on their plot of land and not a fucking 20-story complex enough to fit the growing population of those Arab towns. My town grew in population like fucking 20... I think it's like 26,000 in the last 60 years. 26,000 people in the last 60 years, which is a shit ton. And it wasn't all like, it pretty much was like 40 years. They increased 5 and then the rest is 20.
The main topic, the main topic was not land, but I got you. All right.
The main topic is discrimination, but you bring up things like land and marriage when you don't understand that. Yeah, discrimination. What do you think What do you think apartheid is built upon?
Okay, fine. So do you believe that Israel is an apartheid state? Yes or no?
I love how, like, after all of that fucking conversation, he has to go back to this stupid fucking purity test questions. Oh, God. It's
for
so
me,
fucking
the West Bank is
cringe.
absolutely an apartheid. Yeah.
Thank you. You see, LonerBox, the guy from
hold on.
I mean, I said the exact same thing about the West Bank.
Yes, he literally said the exact same thing.
The contention is whether or not it would be that without the West Bank occupation.
LonerBox, you're trying to twist over that, and it's ethno-supremacist too. So don't forget about that too.
Oh yeah, don't forget about that. We care a lot about ethno-supremacy, in the Middle East. It's definitely not a thing that happens in any other country in that region. In any case,
let me ask you, what do you think is a Palestinian state going to be as well?
The Jews in Persia or Iran, are treated much better than the Palestinians are treated in Israel. So
yeah, that's why they're all leaving. Yeah.
No, they're leaving because of economic sanctions, because of the war with Israel, and all sorts of stuff. But they're still
anything
there. They're
else?
still
Why
there
is
for
it? Why is
thousands
it
of
you?
years.
Why
They lived
do you
there
like
for thousands of
religiously?
years.
Yeah, and then most of them left. You fucking retard. Yeah, why is it always that with every Middle Eastern country? Hey, here's a question. Say Iraq. What was the main reason for Jews leaving Iraq in the 50s?
Because of the bombing, because of the what do you call it, the bombings by the Mossad over there. Like,
Yeah?
yes.
Yeah, was it? Why
Yeah.
the
Yes.
bombings that the two bombings that happened after the window to leave had closed?
No, listen, no, like they really
After
like,
the majority of
Mossad
them
did that on
registered to
purpose. No,
leave.
the Mossad killed Jewish people on purpose in Iraq, yeah, to scare them and to make them leave.
How many people did
Listen,
they
let's
kill?
not fucking bullshit.
You don't know the
Oh, I
timeline.
don't know, like a 5 or 6, I don't remember, something like that.
So 5 people get killed in a bombing over how long? A year. And that
Are you
results
supporting
in
it?
125,000 people leaving the country.
LonerBox, don't make excuses. LonerBox, don't make excuses for Mossad or like what do you call it, subterfuges and what do you call that, false flag operations.
I'm not making excuses. I'm demonstrating the fact that you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. So the window to leave Iraq opened in March 1950. When was and it was going to close the year later. So March 1950 to 51. When
was there
did this
pogroms
first
against the Iraqi Jews?
When
Was
did
there
this...
pogroms against the Iraqi Jews? Was there pogroms against the Iraqi Jews?
Yes, there were.
Yes.
No, there weren't.
The Farhud was a pogrom.
No, there
The
weren't.
Farhud?
At that time,
They
no, there
killed
wasn't. At
300
that time, no, there
people.
wasn't.
What do you
No,
mean?
at
The
that time, no,
Farhud
there
killed
wasn't.
300 Jews.
At that time, really, like at that time, there was no.
Yes,
like, listen,
that is what the biggest contributor to Jews leaving is the Farhud and the Iraqi government seizing assets of Jewish Iraqis. Like they froze assets.
He has no fucking idea. He probably thinks all 5 bombings were attributed to Mossad. Do you or no?
Yes, it was.
Really?
Yes.
According to who?
According to Mossad, and like, and I like.
No,
Mossad
wait. Mossad never admitted to any of them. There's no confession from it, apart from the one guy who confessed under torture, but that was only to the last 3. Yeah, who said that all 5 bombings were Mossad? Even
Mossad barely admitted to the shit that they got caught doing, which is in Egypt.
Yeah, wait. Who said?
But they did other stuff as well. But
wait. Who said that Mossad did all 5 bombings? Where are you getting that from? You just make that up.
Well, listen, if they did one, they did probably all 5. So, like, I'm just saying, like, that just
no,
like,
that's not what anyone said, though. That's not what anyone's claimed. Even the Iraqi government, I don't think, claimed that. They blamed the last 3 bombings
so,
on
all right, so I'm
Mossad.
just checking out over here. Okay, the Farhud happened in 1941 because of what do you call it, the Anglo-Iraqi War and power vacuum and stuff like that. So exactly in World War I, in World War II, yeah, like during World War II. Okay, so the Iraqi Jews left after the creation of State of Israel. Yes or no?
Yeah, why couldn't they leave after the Farhud?
Because there was no State of Israel. The fuck you talking about, retard?
So you think they might have wanted to leave, but they couldn't, right?
Where were they? Yeah, they wanted it to USA. Why not? Yeah, like or something like Britain.
Yeah, probably would have been quite hard to go there during the war, right? Because those countries were blocking Jewish refugees from going there for the most part. So yeah, of course.
Every country at that time.
It's just interesting though that as soon as they opened it, because the government banned Jews from leaving the country during the 48 war, they opened a window for 1 year from 1950 to 51. As soon as they opened that window, 100-something thousand people, 90% of the population that's Jewish, leaves. And then
there was a lot of Jews already leaving, like illegally, like leaving Iraq right after the Farhud too. There's just no like concrete number on it. Because they got spread out into other different countries rather than all going to the same country, which is Israel.
Oh my God! Yes, the poor Jews. Yes, I feel sorry for them too. The poor Iraqi Jews.
They were massacred. What?
I can tell you.
Compared to what happened in
to me, hold on.
1,000 Jews died in that's compared to what happened in Nakba, right? Okay, so there's an ethnic conflict that happened in Iraq, and then
how many civilians died in the Nakba?
We have 377 Palestinians that disappeared right now in Gaza.
Wait. I'm just going to keep it 1v1, so I'll speak to you later. Okay. Okay. Let's just go back to these Iraqi bombings, just because I think it's like very clear that you just don't know what the fuck happened. So, do you want me to give you sources for this, or like, do you understand that the first 2 bombings were done by Iraqi Arabs, right? You understand that?
So they say.
Well, so who says? Who says? So who says?
So that's the people. So that's people in history say, but I still have my doubts.
Why? Why do you have your doubts?
Because the Mossad is sneaky, and they're always trying to create fitna, and try to create divisions, like the Odedinon plan. Try to entice Jews to come over, and to brainwash them, saying that as Jews, we have to be afraid. Everybody's going to come after us. Everybody's going to kill us. Just we have to stick together. The Muslims are our enemy. Arabs are our enemy. Even though for thousands of years, hold up, let me finish, LonerBox. For thousands of years, Jews have lived there, peacefully for the most part. And even when the Spanish conquistadores, Reconquista took over Spain, 400,000 Jews were accepted in by the Ottoman Empire. So let's not forget how the Muslims saved the Jews from the Spanish Inquisition. Yes or no, LonerBox?
Yeah, and then they also, what happened afterwards? And then they made them what? Second-class citizens, right?
The Ottomans ate the... Huh? What?
And then they became second-class citizens. Yeah. We're not talking about the Ottomans, though. We're talking about modern nationalism, you fucking idiot. We're talking about modern nationalism, not about the Ottomans. We're talking about modern nationalism. So under modern nationalism and the rise of modern nationalism, Jews in Iraq were persecuted straight from independence.
No, but my point is this, though.
Iraq gets independence in 1934.
My guy,
and then they banned, speaking of Hebrew, do you deny that? Do you deny that 2 years after Iraqi independence, not Ottomans, not British, under Iraqi independence, they banned people for speaking and teaching Hebrew. They fired Jews from government positions. They restricted their access to education. They made it so that if you were accused of Zionist activity by 2 other Muslims, you could go to jail or fined. And do you know what they counted as Zionist activity? One example could be having a Bible that had a biblical map of the Holy Land.
My guy, you just basically just skirted over what I said. People are getting killed in Spain, and they're being forced to.
I'm not talking about Spain. I'm asking you about Iraq in the 20th century. I'm not asking you about.
Don't skirt over that. Don't skirt over that. Don't skirt.
I'm not skirting over it. I'm acknowledging it. Why are you the one? How is it? Am I skirting your skirt? What the fuck are you doing? I asked you about Iraq. You're the one trying to skirt that and talk about the Ottomans. I'm just trying to bring you back to the thing that we spoke about in the first place. Don't try to accuse me of dodging your attempt to dodge. What the fuck are you talking about? You fucking moron.
No, it's not really. My bigger narrative is, listen.
Your bigger narrative is that there was a period where the Muslim world was less violent than the Christian world. That was not becoming the case, though, in the 20th century, where just because it wasn't as bad as Europe does not mean that it wasn't still bad. Do you disagree with that? Just because in the 30s you're safer in Iraq than you were in Poland, that does not mean that Iraq was good. Do you understand that?
Yes, I got you.
Yes. So how would you describe the way that Jews were treated in Iraq in the 30s and 40s?
Can I finish, my guy? Listen, my point is this, though. Listen, people, of course, there's always racial and ethnic problems, right? That does not mean, for example, there's racial and ethnic problems in Lebanon. Yeah? Even though for thousands of years, Christians and Muslims have lived there.
Who's to blame for those ethnic and racial problems in Iraq in the 30s and 40s and 50s then? Do you see how, when Israel does something, they're a fascist apartheid ethno-state, but when it's something with Arabs persecuting Jews, it's, there are ethnic problems that happen everywhere. Do you see how, you can't be consistent? You can't do it. You can't acknowledge even the most obvious case. You're not being consistent. What was the main reason that Jews left Iraq in the 50s? It wasn't bombings by Mossad. It was not bombings by Mossad. Even if you believe that the 3 that Avi Shlaim says were Mossad, even if you believe that, that cannot have been the reason, because almost all of them had already registered to leave before those 3 bombings happened. So why was it? Why did they leave Iraq? What's the main reason?
We have race riots here in America for many times as well. That does not mean every Mexican needs his own fucking land. Or
would you say America is a white supremacist country?
We have racial tensions in America as well. We have racial tensions. We had you had racial tensions that people were stopping people on the streets in the UK, asking them if they were white, burning immigrant centers and everything like that. But that does not
say America is a racist country?
That does not justify ethno-supremacist Pakistani state in UK, man. So shut the fuck up with that bullshit. You're saying stupid shit.
Would you say America's a racist country?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you say Iraq was a racist country when the Jews were fleeing?
Yeah, probably. I wasn't there. Yeah.
Do you see
probably.
how? Why all these qualifiers? Why is it so easy to say for America, but for fucking Iraq in the fucking 30s, 40s, 50s, when there are pogroms, when there's a.
I wasn't there.
Are you in America?
Yeah, I'm in America. Not at the moment, but yeah, I'm an American though. Yeah.
Can you only call a country racist if you've been there? Have you ever been to Israel?
I'm not a historian of Iraq. I'm not a historical person of Iraq. I haven't read the history of Iraq.
Well, then why were you so confident in saying that it was the
19...
Mossad bombings? If you're not a historian.
No, I know for thousands of years, listen, Muslims and Jews lived peacefully together. Even like till today, like the Samaritans have lived in Palestine before the Jews came, and like they were living peacefully as well. Yeah, in Yemen as well. And same as well. What do you call it? In Iran, same as in many places as well. Like there's been Jews as well. Even today as well, there's still Jews living in Morocco, and even one of the the advisors of the Moroccan king is a Jew. So my point is this: like for thousands of years, these people have lived together. So the people that came in here and fucked all that up is the Zionism, and that mentality. Listen, that that PTSD mentality that came from Europe, and and also the colonialism mindset is also that came from Europe, and that's the problem. That is a very big problem. So that's my point.
So you think so? Again, so you consider a time when Jews were second-class citizens? That's okay. That wasn't apartheid, by the way, to you, right? Ottoman rule, that's not apartheid, where Jews had to live in fucking ghettos. And in some places, they had to take their shoes off if they walked past the mosque. The fact that if you were a Jew, all it took was the confession of two Muslims, the testimony of two Muslims to get you convicted of any fucking crime. And in some cases, you couldn't even prosecute a Muslim who committed crimes against you. That's all peaceful to you. But then the Zionists come over in 1880, and then the problem started, yeah? Yeah, you just say you're okay with that then. You're okay with Jews living as dhimmis and minorities. As long as they're a tiny, shitty, useless fucking minority, you're okay with that, right?
There's no such thing as an equal society anywhere in the fucking world that is like super equal. But at the end of the day, though,
now we're excusing apartheid. Okay. Do you see how apartheid's okay when you do it, right?
What Palestinians are going through today. None of what the Ottoman Empire did compared to what the Palestinians are going through today. So
really,
bullshit, man.
none of what the Ottoman you realize the Ottoman Empire committed like fucking 5 genocides. I don't know what the fuck are you talking about. Nothing they did. The Armenian genocide.
To the Jews and the Christians. I'm talking to the Jews and Christians in their midst. Not in war times. So get the fuck out of here. So
the famine in Lebanon, where 100,000 Maronites starved. How many Maronites starved to death because of the food requisitions in World War One? Oh, you don't know.
World War I, exactly.
You don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
We're talking about peaceful times. We're talking about peaceful times and peaceful times.
So it's okay. It's okay to starve 100,000 people. If it's in wartime?
I'm not saying it's okay, my guy. I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just saying, though, listen, people could have lived together. Your asshole friends.
But you just said that the Ottomans have never done anything comparable. The Ottomans committed genocides. What are you talking about? They fucked up the Greeks, the Armenians, they fucked up the Lebanese Christians with the food requisitions. What are you talking about? The Ottomans. You just admit, you think apartheid's less of an issue if fucking Muslims are doing it. That's it. That's your position.
No. Look, that's not my fucking point, my guy. Listen.
It is. You don't care. That's why every time I ask you about an instance of it happening on that end, you're like, oh, I don't know about all that. I wasn't really there, Maybe, probably.
Give me my defense of the Ottoman Empire. No, okay, give me my defense of the Ottoman Empire. No, okay. In defense of the Islamic empires, okay? In defense of the Islamic empires, they ruled vast swaths of land, vast swaths of many different people, right? And yes, of course, not everybody was treated equally. There has been no empire, no state where everything was copacetic or everybody's not even communism, not everything like that. There has never been a state like that. But at least, right? They did not kill all the Christians. They did not try to ethnically cleanse people in peaceful times, at least. And for the most part, so that's what my point is. So they the Jews and Muslims live together. And and many of the scholars as well were Jewish, and so that's my fucking point. So that is my fucking point. So so there is no problem for people to live to continue after after decolonization, for people to continue in a better way, not going to even much more fucking racist the degenerate, like, so that's the fucking problem with the Zionists, or there was never a Jewish empire because they do not want to absorb other people, and they don't want to govern other people, and they can't do that because they always see the people, because they see other people as others, and like they want to squash them. But like the Muslims have governed, or more like they have governed Hindus before, they have governed Christians before, they have governed and they're still alive today. I'm not saying that was always good. I'm not saying like Muslims didn't do any war crimes or brutality towards their
or genocides,
Muslims,
like
or
quite a few of
Christians
those as well. Yeah, quite a few genocides.
What genocide? Are you talking about the Armenian one? That's the only one I know. What's the other genocide?
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah,
I feel like I'm listening to
okay, because there's no other one. Because there's
well,
no
by
other
your
one,
standards, what they did to by your standards, what they did to what they did to the Assyrians or the Greeks, or why was that not genocide to you?
The Assyrians didn't even exist when the Ottomans came or the Muslims came. The Assyrians were already gone, man. They were already absorbed by the Romans, and there was no Assyrians by the time the Muslim army came. And the Greeks as well, like they're there today.
There were no Assyrians in World War One. What?
What do you mean? Like they're like minute. What are you talking about? Like the Assyrian.
Oh, so if they're a small group, it doesn't matter. What are you talking about?
The Assyrian Christians. You're talking about Assyrian Christians, but like I mean, as Assyrian ethnicity itself, Assyrian, but like a Assyrian as a certain Christian sect.
Okay, so if they're a small enough group, I guess we don't really give a fuck. Okay, Greeks as well. Was that not?
Greeks, like they're still alive. I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about. The Greeks, they've been occupied.
So it's not genocide if the group is still alive? What are you talking about? There are still Armenians. Doesn't mean it wasn't a genocide.
Exterminate the Greeks. What are you talking about? Did they try to exterminate the Greeks? I was never aware that like when the Ottomans tried to exterminate the Greeks. What was the war of extermination against the Greeks?
It was more.
Exactly.
It was closer to a war of extermination than what's happening with Palestinians. I can tell you that.
No, it wasn't.
Really?
Listen, what the fuck you mean? Yes, no, it wasn't. They still had that's why all the temples are still standing.
How do you know?
There, like
wait, how do you know? How do you know that it's not comparable to Greece?
I studied Ottoman history. I can tell.
You've studied Ottoman history in the same way that like fucking Edwardian inbred fucking like human tadpoles and top hats learned about fucking the British Empire in India. Like that's what you sound like. You realize that you sound like fucking. You sound like Jacob Rees-Mogg talking about the British Empire. You understand that, right?
Listen, LonerBox, like, you haven't been with a real woman before, so I wouldn't be talking, man. Like, so once you grow up as a real man,
you sound like this guy.
Woman,
you sound like this guy.
A real woman. Like,
what's a real woman? You sound like this guy telling me about the British Empire. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Man, like, that's not a real woman. Get with a real Lebanese woman first, okay? Like, that's why you're pathetic, man, because you haven't been with a real Lebanese woman.
Why are
that's why you're a collaborator.
I don't know about. Why are you so like objectifying about fucking like ethnic women? Like what?
What do you call it? No, I'm just saying that even Lebanese women wouldn't touch you. That's why you're with a tranny. And not only that though, that the Israeli woman wouldn't touch you either. So like, I mean, that's what, like I'm just saying. So you're a man.
Why are you getting
a real woman?
How much have you been trying to learn about my?
I understand. How can you give people advice because you haven't been a real woman before? So
why have you been trying to learn about my fucking personal life? What the fuck? I feel like you've not done enough investigation into my personal life.
Hey, you're a boy, like but you haven't been a real woman before. Like, I mean, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Get with a real woman. Get some pussy. Yeah, get some pussy. That will grow some hair on your balls, and then maybe you can talk out to man to me, like mano a mano, man. Because sucking cock. That doesn't mean you've been with a woman before, like
Okay.
Yeah. Stop being cocked, man. Stop being cocked. I know you're cocked by Destiny. I feel sorry for that. I know Destiny cocked you. I know Elon Levy also cocked you. And but don't be cocked by the Israelis, man. Have some pride as a Christian Lebanese.
It would be so much more. These insults would be so much more effective if you knew anything about my life. Like every single thing you've just said about my personal life is false, by the way. You understand that? Like every single fact you just got completely wrong. But
yeah, no, okay. I got most of them right. That's why you're just saying that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if you think that's fine. Like I don't really think about like where your fucking knob has been because it's not interesting to me. But
no, man, listen, man. Like,
I'm just more curious about like what fucking windows you've been licking.
No, but this one I'm trying to help you out though, because listen, most collaborators, man, they feel something. What do you call it? most collaborators, most people that see themselves lesser than the enemy or the Israelis. So you see yourself as an Arab
It's
lesser
really
than
fucking
the
profound,
Israeli.
dude. Yeah. What happens when
Yeah,
people start
that's what
speculating about the fucking
collaborators.
cock and ball, the meat and two
Listen,
veg of the person they're arguing with? What happens when you're in an argument as a, I don't know, maybe you tell me as a real man, you know? What happens when you're in an argument with someone and you just start fucking going off on a schizo screed about where their fucking general and two colonels has been? Like, what's that about?
No, the point is like, because as a collaborator, you're mixed up. I know, like, you feel lesser than the Israelis. As an Arab, you feel lesser than the Israelis.
Bro,
But that's what
I would
happens,
never
though,
feel
because,
lesser than
that's what
Israelis.
happens,
Holy
because you
shit.
don't feel
Have you met
loved.
them? Israelis are
You don't
fucking
feel loved.
mental. What are you talking about?
No, like, collaborators are mental. Have you heard Mossab Hassan, man? Like, you're like him, though. Like, but not as bad as him, but like a little bit as bad as him, though.
Thanks.
Like, you know, because he hates his father and he had him arrested and stuff like that. That's pretty fucked up as a family member, if I can tell you that, man. Like, you know, but you're closer to that too. But I'm just saying, man, listen, try to get with a Lebanese woman, or try to get with a woman, at least, you know, real woman, not a, and then maybe, like, you know, you can get your head fixed up, and, like, you know, and listen, man, you're
Are you like,
equal
why
as
do
an
you,
Israeli, man.
why, again, not for the first time, do you realize who introduced girl dick into this conversation? It was you. I wasn't thinking about girl dick until you brought it up. Why? Why are you so obsessed with fucking girl dick? It's not the first time you've spoken about this to me. Is it
There's
one
no
of those
such thing
things
as
where,
girl dick,
you
my
know,
guy.
like,
There's no such thing as girl dick.
do you know how common it is for right-wing commentators, like conservatards, you know, people like you, to bitch about trans
Dude, you
people?
support an apartheid state, man.
Do you know how common it is for people to bitch
state,
about
man.
trans people and to like say that it's like that they're not real women and shit, and then you go into their fucking porn history and it's just all the trans porn that you could ever like? Is that you? You know, like conservative pundits like quite often get caught with trans porn on their computers.
I'm a lefty, my guy. I'm a lefty.
I do wonder why they think so much about it though. Like why? Why are trans folks
like,
so obsessed with
LonerBox,
trans
I'm a
dicks?
lefty. I'm a lefty. I'm a lefty. You're the conservative.
Yeah,
over here because you support Zionism.
the lefty Ottoman revivalist. I know it's a good trend these days.
I'm not Ottoman revivalist. I'm not trying to revive the Ottoman Empire. I'm just telling you, like, how the
You just tell me how based it was, you
ruled over
know?
other people. Huh?
You're just telling me how based it was. Anyway, I'm just wondering
Yeah, it was based.
why how often a day do you think about like trans girls' knobs? Like what?
No, I'm just trying to help you out, man, because I know you feel lesser than the Israelis, and I know that's one of the reasons it was, well, like, because you haven't been with a real woman before.
See, even with the inferiority complex, like you're the one bringing up inferiority complexes. I haven't spoken about
you're
that.
a collaborator. Listen, I cannot see how you can go over there and then the people that bomb your people and then also call death to Arabs and then you suck up to them, man. That's pathetic, bro.
Yeah, and I've also been to Lebanon, and I've also got relatives, and I've spoken to Lebanese people who celebrate when
destiny, my guy, getting fucked by destiny.
You don't know any of the details about my personal life. I don't know why. Like, how can you obsess over me this much and not know fucking anything? Is it cucking? Is it cucking if someone that you're seeing has slept with someone else that you know 5 years before you even met? How is that cucking? What the fuck?
Your personal life. Badam Panada told me that you were cucked by destiny. Badam Panada told me.
Badam Panada told you.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a reliable source, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Why is he thinking about my personal life?
Because like that's what happens with what do you call propagandists and people like.
I mean, it's what happens when freaks on the internet take a special interest in you because they don't have that much going for themselves. What's your story these days? Like, what do you do in your day to day? Like, what happens when you're not thinking about where my
I'm not thinking about that kind of stuff. Listen, when I just talked about you right now, and I just try to tell you.
Yeah, but what do you do when you're not doing that? Because you're clearly not reading about the conflict or about history or anything like that. You know fucking shit about Iraq. You didn't know about the bombings. You don't know about like the Ottoman treatment. You didn't know about the famine in Lebanon with the Christians. You didn't really seem to know about the Ottoman Empire did to the Greeks or the Assyrians. You don't know fucking anything, even about your area of interest. I'm just wondering what you do with your day. You're not reading. You're not learning things. What do? You watch some YouTube videos.
I'm reading actually on killing right now. I'm reading on killing right now. Is about the psychology of killing and warfare. So that's what I'm reading right now.
Yeah, great.
It's an interesting book.
What do you do when you're not reading? Because like clearly you're not taking anything in.
I'm getting pussy. Like, yeah, LonerBox. You should try get some pussy too. I got some Israeli pussy too one time. Yeah.
Great. I'm happy for you, I guess. So what? You spent okay. What else do you do?
I play video games. I make money. That's what I do, man.
What do you make money doing?
Don't worry about how I make money, my guy. Don't worry about it, man. I just make money. I take care of cats. I help dogs sometimes as well. I help animals. I take care of animals. So that's what I do as well, you know.
Yeah.
And I do some fundraising from time to time. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You came to Scottish universities and warned people about me, didn't you?
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
Why would Loner
Still haven't had any
Scottish
Scottish encounters yet, so I guess it's just pretty unsuccessful.
Prometheus?
Well, just what do you call it? Just a couple of universities, and we probably don't meet those people too. So there's not that many protesters going out there anyways. So the encampments. But anyway, listen, I'm just telling people about you. I'm warning about you. I'm giving you advice right now, man. I'm giving you advice right now, because I feel
Your
sorry
advice
for
to
the
me is
Lebanese
to
person.
try and fuck a Lebanese person, to seek out someone specifically who's Lebanese.
No, it could be any woman, my guy. I'm just saying, what do you call it? I'm just saying, get with a real woman.
So I need
Stop
to.
being cocky.
So I need to fuck a cis woman.
As a real woman, I would say a real woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I?
And
how many?
And I'm telling you that you are equal as the Israelis, and you have pride in yourself. Don't debase yourself because you're an Arab, and to the white man or to the Israeli people. You are equal. So don't debase yourself and don't sell yourself.
How many
short,
I'm just. Okay.
Because I know, collaborators are so confused inside. That's what I'm saying. I know it's like collaborator that you're so confused.
You're the one who's
inside,
confused. Wait, why do you? For example, you asked me last time if I'd slept with a trans woman, right? And I said yes at some point.
Yeah.
Why did you think that means I've? I don't even know why I'm litigating my fucking personal life with you.
If anybody has been shocked by that, I would think they haven't been with a real woman before.
Yeah, again, and that's why I keep saying these jabs about the cock. It would be a lot more effective if you had any fucking idea what the story was, but you don't. So it doesn't really. It's like me telling you, oh yeah, remember that time when. Jesus Christ. It's like me saying, oh yeah, remember that time when you just got fucking gangbanged by 20 fucking dudes. It's yeah, it doesn't really work if I say that if it didn't happen, right? You understand that?
I do not.
I don't know. Bada Panada told me. He told me because I watched one of his videos and he, he was dribbling into the microphone about how this Kilimanjaro guy actually gets gangbanged all the time and then he cries about it and lashes himself afterwards because he's homophobic. It's a true story. Someone told me.
Okay, someone told you that, but no, that's not true though. But you told me you've been with you like girls, so I'm just telling you be with a real woman, man, and don't go to what they call your.
I like all kinds of women. What's wrong with that?
That's not a real woman, man. You're debasing yourself as well.
Are you a homophobe? I thought you were a leftist. Even if you think they're not women, are you a homophobe?
Listen, leftism, in the East and what is going on in the West is not the same thing. Leftism has been captured and co-opted by the corporations and by CIA and other stuff like that.
So what's wrong with what's wrong with gays? What's wrong with that?
Listen, this is not the conversation about gays right now, right?
Well, you're the one who brought up trans women. So you're actually the reason we're talking about sexuality right now. Yes, that was your decision. The only person who brought up sex in this conversation was you, my friend. You horny little fucking goblin. You coomer. You gooner. You goon brain. So, you fucking human cubsock. What's wrong with being gay? What's wrong with the gays?
I brought it. Well, the gays, I don't think they're man enough to basically understand politics and to give advice to people.
You don't think gays are man enough to understand politics and to give advice?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You realize that gay sex is more straight than fucking women, right? There's double male there. There's double the testosterone. It's testosterone squared. Whereas you are out there being oh, you're out there fucking shitting yourself if there's a bit of fucking hair on a woman's fanny.
Right now. I don't want to
hear
look
at this. You're so insecure. You're such a beta male. Why? Look, you can't even handle me talking. You can't even handle me describing gay sex to you, and you're squirming.
Yes,
you're so insecure. What's wrong with that? Why are you such a fucking fanny? Why are you a coward?
I don't describe to you straight sex, man. Don't describe to me gay sex.
No, you're happy to talk about trans girl dick to me. You're happy to talk about Destiny's knob to me. You're happy to talk about my sex life. But as soon as I bring up gay sex for 2 seconds and just talk about how it's really manly,
I'm not going to description though.
I'm just saying it's testosterone and big fucking hairy sweaty dudes. What's sexual about that?
Oh my god,
that's just manly. Right. That's just double man. What are you talking about?
I'm leaving.
You're being very soft right now.